Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and the practical series of the machine learning. In this session, I explain you the logistic regression. So we first see the introduction to the logistic regression. So logistic regression, do remember students, it is one of the classification algorithm. Most of the students are confused regarding logistic regression because the name is regression. So we think it is a regression algorithm. But do remember, this is not a regression algorithm. This is used for classification. That means it is used to categorize the input data. So in this we predict the categorical outcome. This is one of the very important. Here we don't have a numerical class. In regression analysis, the target is numerical, but logistic regression, the target is categorical. So it is basically used for binary classification where we can have only two possible outcomes like yes, no, spam. Email is either spam or not a spam, either disease prediction yes or no, other student pass or fail. These all types of prediction can be done using logistic regression. Now moving to the next part. Logistic regression uses a sigmoid function, right? For prediction it uses a sigmoid function. So sigmoid function basically used to predict the outcome between 0 and 1. As we can see here, this is a sigmoid function. As we see here, we have a probability P0, 0 से लेके till 1. The maximum value for the sigmoid function is 1. So it will give, sigmoid function give the answer between 0 and 1. So here we calculate the probability. If the probability of the input is greater than or equal to 0.5, it belongs to the category 1. Otherwise, it belongs to the category 0. Like this, here we have classification is done. We have a threshold 0.5. If it is less than 0.5, the class is 0. If it is greater than 0.5, then it belongs to the class 1. So example problems. Okay, suppose we want to predict the email it is spam or not. So we can use a logistic regression. See, this is an example. Predict if the email is spam or not. In the same way, we can use the logistic regression if the customer will buy a product or not. Suppose I want to predict this, कि customer वो particular product लेगा या नहीं. So at that time we use logistic regression. In the same way, the prediction of student pass-fail criteria based on study hours, attendance, internal marks, assignment, and so on. So these are the inputs, right? We can use to predict the output. We start with the practical demonstration of the logistic regression. So I am using a Google Colab. Now I had created a this notebook. So we have to create a notebook and sign in to the Google Colab. Now first I am giving a title as logistic regression demo. Logistic, and then we just add a text. So this is my text. I'm just select and bold. So we are using here the logistic regression to predict whether the credit card transaction is fraud or not. So यहाँ पे we are using this model logistic regression to find out the transaction is fraudulent or genuine, यानी वो genuine है या fraud है. So logistic regression we use. So the step 1, you just add text again. Now step 1, import required libraries. So the first step, right, that we import all the required libraries. So now we first required import pandas as pd, okay, as PD. Then from sklearn we use model selection. As we can see here, model selection, train, test, split. Then we use logistic regression from linear model, and then we use accuracy from sklearn matrix. So these are the libraries that we import. This is an optional one, you can remove this. Now we just print a message, all libraries are imported. Just execute this cell, so it will execute and load all the required libraries. Now moving to the next step. In the next step, again we just add a text or label, which is my step 2, create read data set. So this is my step 2, just bold it. So this is my data set, right? So we have a amount as an input, time as an input, and this is my target, right, which is my output, which belongs to either 0 or 1. Why? Because logistic regression is used for binary classification. So if the transaction carries amount which is very less and the time which is very less again, so this will be considered as a genuine transaction. This is not a fraud. When it will become a fraud, if we have a less time is less and amount is large. So in this case there may be chances this will become a fraud. This is the fraud transaction. In the same way, if the amount is less and the time is less, it is considered as genuine transaction. If the amount is very high and the timing is less, so it is considered as fraud. So this is my data set. Then print. We can use a .csv file also, right? But for demonstration I am just declaring a static data here. So now we print data. Just see the output. This is my data, right? We have a amount, then time, then fraud. Now again just take another cell, then we add a text, which is my step number 3, convert data set into data frame. So we convert this data set into data frame, which is my df. Now we have a pd dot data frame, and now we print this data frame. So as we can see here, right, the entire data is converted into frame, which is a organized form. एक organized form में है. Here we have a data, but it is in dictionary form, right? ये dictionary form में. Now we convert the data set into frame. तो frame में क्या होता है? Organized rows and column form में data will displayed. Then again add a new code session. यहाँ पे we add this code, and again I am adding a text, step number 4, right? This is my step 3, right? Now we divide the data into features and target. Input and features are called as input. Target is nothing but an output. So now I am declaring a variable x, which is my input. Now we divide the data into features and targets. So we have two inputs, right? Amount and time. These are the two inputs. On the basis of this, we decide कि वो जो transaction है वो fraud है या नहीं. Then we find out the fraud, which is my output, which is stored in y. Now I just print features, which is my input. Then we print capital X. Then again print the target, which is my y. Then print y. Now just execute this code. As we can see here, features are separated from the target. So this is my target. Okay. So we divide the data into features and target. Then again add a code. Now again just add a text, which is my step number 5. Now we divide the data set into training and testing. So to divide the data into training and testing, we have this library. हमने already library import किया है. Okay, this is my library. In this library we have this method. As you can see here, we have a train underscore test underscore split. So this is a function which is used to divide the data into training and testing. So here we are using the test size as 0.2. What does it mean? When we print this data, just print x underscore train first, right? Then x underscore test, y underscore train, y underscore test. Okay, print y underscore test. Okay, so what happened in this case? Just execute. As we can see here, in x train, that means we have a training data. So as we can count here, we have 8 records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why? Because test size I had given a 0.2. What does it mean? For testing, it will retrieve 20% data. So total, as we have a 10 records. 0 to 9 means 10 record रहेगी. So total we have a 10 records. Out of that, we calculate the 20%. So we get a test data of 2, right? 10 में से 2 जो होगा वो टेस्टिंग डेटा होगा, एंड द रिमेनिंग रिकॉर्ड्स विच आर 8 रिकॉर्ड्स वो किस में जाएंगे? ट्रेनिंग में जाएंगे. इन द सेम वे, राइट, व्हेन वी सी द वाई ट्रेन, ओके, सेम वाई टेस्ट वी हैव द सेम 8 and 2. सपोज आई हैव चेंज दिस 5, मतलब 50% डेटा, राइट? देयर आर 5 रिकॉर्ड्स इन ट्रेनिंग, देयर आर 5 रिकॉर्ड इन टेस्टिंग. सो टेस्ट साइज जो रहेगा, इट विल डिसाइड कि हाउ मच डेटा विल एक्सट्रैक्ट फॉर द ट्रेनिंग एंड टेस्टिंग. तो बेसिकली द स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू इज 0.2. So just execute this, right? There are 8 records and then we have 2 records in testing. Now again add a new code section. Now this is my step number 6. This is my model creation. So now here we use a logistic regression model. So now I am declaring model equals to logistic regression. Okay. So this is my model. Okay. And I am just printing a message, model is created. We can also print the name of the model, which is model. Okay. Now the name of the model is logistic regression. So the step number 6 is model creation. Now again add a code section, add a text, which is my step number 7. Okay. Now we train the model. So to train the model, logistic regression model को train करना है, so we have a function called fit. तो in fit we give 2 parameters, x train, y train. We are giving input भी दे रहे हैं हम लोग and output भी दे रहे हैं. Okay, so with the help of this model is train. Now again next, again add a text. Step number 8, model prediction. So to predict the output, we just declare a variable y underscore predict. This is my predicted output, and then model dot predict. So we have a predicted output, right, in y predict, and we called a function predict. So this is an function, right, which is used to predict. अब predict किसको करेगा? x test को. So just go up, we have a x test, right? This is my x test data. So we have a record number 8 and record number 1. Okay, so record number 8 is your 1, that means it is a fraud. ये fraud है इसका output. And record number 1 is a normal transaction, that's why it is 0. So now when this model will predict the output, just run. As we can see here, the 8 वाला जो record है, it is fraud, and the 0 1 is your genuine transaction. And the last step is now step number 9. calculate accuracy of model. Okay, so now to calculate the accuracy of the model, again we have a library at the top. We already imported all the libraries, right? We have this library. Okay, now we calculate the accuracy of the model. Okay, so we just print the accuracy of the model. Okay, so accuracy underscore score. So to calculate the accuracy, we just compare y test, right? In y test we have a original output, right, which is my 1 or 0, and y predict is the output predicted by the model. So when we execute this code, right, when we execute this code, it will print the accuracy of the model. Just execute. As we can see here, we have an accuracy of 1, or we can multiply this by 100 so that it will print 100% accuracy. So our model predicted the output which is 100% क्या है correct. So this is all about the logistic regression, okay, especially for binary classification. I hope you understood this session. Thank you so much.